Hello, hello. Sorry. I have 0 SP right now, brother. Good boy, Ayan, Rahim, Frankie. Welcome, everybody. Mafia. I can't answer that question because I'd need to, like, play 20Q with you, and it would take, like, a solid 45 minutes to just keep going back and forth to get all the information that I'd need. TLDR, I made a free-to-play Gear Hub guide. Some of the stuff is a little bit outdated. I think the only thing that I would really change much is that I would say go for Podgun 8 instead of Disc Launcher 8. But Disc Launcher 8 is still pretty good in Tier 5. But otherwise, prioritize the things I tell you to prioritize. Don't prioritize the things that I tell you not to prioritize. And that's basically it. Like, everybody's going to go through it a little bit differently, right? But that's kind of just what I would generally say. 211, hello. RuFFles look at Oracle 16. Guess I'll just keep this on at the background of work. Okay. I got you. Yeah, the thing is like every time I do a stream like this, I never end up making a video for it. I never end up doing it. I would like to, but my streams end up going for like, I don't know, 4 hours, and half of it's just me rambling. Anyway, let's just get through it. So, like, and I don't want to watch the entire thing back, so I can never remember, and so, like, I don't know where, like, the important things are, like, the things that I talk about. So, like, trying to edit my streams down to just a regular video. Even though it's a nice idea and I would like to do that, it would kind of take forever. See if Oracle 16 is good or not. Keep in mind, just for the sake of argument, there is a 20% damage modifier active right now. I don't have a damage implant for Oracle. At least I'm pretty sure I don't. How's it going? Hello. Janet Dash RuFFles is SP dropping hard right now. It's for achievements, I promise. Anyway, yeah, there's a damage modifier. I'm pretty sure it modifies the base stats, meaning that even though I don't have an implant, it's going to be 20% more damage plus 20% times 70% from the pilot itself, which is what, 14%? Yeah, I think so. So without a damage implant, it's still going to be 4% stronger with the modifier than it would be with a maxed legendary implant. You don't have it yet? No, I always spin it on stream just so that everybody can, like, watch me get it last spin every single time. I think it's important to just continuously remind people you're not going to get it with 1 or 2 tokens. You're not going to get lucky. You know? It's basically my way of just reminding people, like, don't even try it. Every time I make a post about, I'd say about 80% of all of the crate rushes that come up. And either, you know, half decent ones anyway. I'll make a post, and then especially the ones that are for A-coins and credits, I'll usually, like, make a post about it. And at the end, I'll always say the same thing. I'll always say, like, don't even try it unless you can guarantee that you get it. But then someone always comments and I go, well, I only had enough for, like, 2 spins, but I spent all my A-coins on it anyway. It's like, okay, whatever. It's your loss. How much does Panther cost? About 4,000 acorns, 3750 if I'm not mistaken. 38.75. Okay. 37.50 is for. Is that for a 16 energy weapon? I don't know. Still haven't made a spin 5, 10, 15, 20 option. Yeah, they really should. If you have the tokens, it should just be like after the first spin. It should just be like, do you want to spin it? Like the same thing like when you do open a crate, right? Like after you open the first crate, it asks you if you want to open open 10. For this, what it really should do is just ask you if you want to open as many crates as the tokens that you have. Because, like, who's gonna spin some tokens but not spin the rest? Like, I don't know of anybody who would do that. Is Cryo Launcher 8 or Ember Gun 8 or Tengu? Yes. Mad Mark, hello, good morning. What does the Oracle event? What does... Oh, I said Oracle event. No, what does the Oracle even do? Okay. It basically... It has potential to be really cool, but they, in classic Plarium fashion, they made it kind of lame. It applies an effect that keeps people visible. It basically applies the spotted status effect, which is like where people, like, you can see where people are, except it does it in a way where you can, like, physically see them through walls and stuff like that. First off, that thing where you can, the effect that you can see people through walls is a little bit disorienting. Because it's hard to tell where people are. But second off, if you activate stealth, it completely counters it. And so at that point, it's like, what in the world is the point? Like, it had one job, and it's to keep people visible, and then as soon as people are like, oh, I have an ability that makes me not go visible, the game's just like, oh, okay, we wouldn't want to nerf stealth at all. I feel like it would have been a really interesting counter to Surge and Eclipse, specifically Eclipse, and it would have made certain guided weapons a lot better. To counteract the fact that it's so lame, the effect does last until it's either cleared off in some way or until the mech dies. So it's basically it's just a permanent effect, which is kind of cool. I like the idea of permanent effects, but overall I would have much rather had a counter to stealth as opposed to just something that does something that's rather pointless. It is 37.50. I just remembered 8.75 for legendary mechs, so I thought it would be the same. Okay. I was pretty sure it was 37.50 because I was pretty sure that was what I saved up for Redeemer and Aegis. But Redeemer was the most recent one, so that was the one I remembered. Elliot, hello. How are you? What should I try it on? Is there an ability? Okay, you. The only cool thing about this about the Oracle weapon is that it does allow you to just keep using lock-on abilities and stuff. Or weapons. So, like, you can apply the effect and then use a secret to teleport onto somebody. When they're, like, behind a wall, they should have been invisible, but they're still visible because they have the effect on them. So that's kind of cool, but overall, it's still kind of like, actually, you know what? Let me attempt to get some blueprints. I know I probably won't, but I'm not really using my crates for anything. Nope. Or the 8. That's useful. Nope, all garbage. Okay. Yeah, you can tell I haven't been playing much. I would have spent these acorns on... I would have spent these acorns on, like, implants or something at this point. We do cooldown. Cooldown damage. Level 1 javelin array range. Yeah, whatever. I don't care, bro. Did you guys see the rewards from the quarterly clash though? The tournament thing that was held by Macarena official. Not everybody got the same rewards. It was kind of dependent. Oh, Gemini 12, that's actually kind of good. Which heavy mech for this? I mean, there's only a couple good heavy mechs. My guess is the best one's going to be Deathwalker, just because Deathwalker's the best heavy mech in general. And synergies don't really matter in this game. It's mostly just about if you have a super OP mech, it's going to be the best mech for most things. You can't stay? Oh, okay, no worries. Do you think Macarena will eventually become as bad as Warbots or not? I don't think so. I think both of these games are staying afloat because they're kind of in a very isolated situation. And I think the reason that both of them are bad is because they're very isolated on the mobile market. Like, there's basically no good mobile games outside of these, or mobile mech shooter games outside of these two, right? So the situation is, Warbots is the best one, the most popular one. It has the most stuff, it has the most depth, right? And it has the most number of players. So it's the most popular one just by default. Mech Arena's popularity comes from its one and only goal, which is be a slightly more free-to-play friendly version of Warbots. Both of those things can remain true. Warbots will continue, it already is the more popular game, and it will probably continue to be the more popular game, so long as Mech Arena's only goal is to just be a slightly better version of Warbots. And Mech Arena can continue to, you know, do its thing as well, but they'll just stay this way. And it's not going to get better, most likely, until some actual competitor comes in that isn't just, like, massively overpricing things and overcharging people and steals all of the players from both games, right? That's the only way that it becomes better. But I don't think Mech Arena would ever become worse than Warbots, simply because, like I said, it's one and only, like, the only benefit of Mech Arena is pretty much exclusively that it's slightly more free-to-play than Warbots. The question is, how well does it corner shoot? Actually, pretty well, because the drone pops out and helps you corner shoot even better. But that doesn't really matter. Corner shooting doesn't really matter because radius exists. I played Mech Wars just to try. It's not bad, but I stopped playing after 30 minutes, went straight to Mech Arena. Mech Wars is... It looks kind of goofy. It's very blocky. And not like voxel art. Like, what I mean is, like, the designs are just very... They're very simple and, like, squarish. But I think the abilities in that game are actually really good. And I think that game has the potential to be better than both Mech Arena and Warabots. It's just like nobody really plays it. The what's it called? I feel like the upgrades aren't a huge issue, and there's not a lot of pay to. I don't think there's a whole lot of pay to win because like the matchmaking seems kind of fine, but from my experience, the power creep is the word I'm looking for. The power creep is wild. And it doesn't seem very fun at like the higher end. Oh yeah. Wait a second, didn't I have... Oh yeah, I have a legendary cooldown, hold on. Yeah. I don't want to max you out, that's such a waste, bro. I'll scrap the other one later. What's the next free-to-play weapon? Revoker. I get the feeling that you knew that, you just wanted to hear me say it. Have I used Tetra Aegis? I probably, I mean, I've used basically everything. Armor attack is good. It's good, but for one thing, the pace is like... The pace is slow, and normally I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I feel like they didn't make the map... I feel like they made the maps for a fast-paced game, but they made the gameplay super slow, so like half of the match is literally just you trying to get from one side of the map to the other. There's just so much dead space on the maps, for one thing. For a second thing, way too upgrade heavy. It is very much, there's way too much power creep. You upgrade something one time, it's basically twice as good. Like, it's ridiculous. Someone with one upgrade higher than you is going to have a significant advantage over you. And I hate that. I think that's stupid. If I give you a shout out, you will sub to me. That's unfortunate. What mech should you get in tier 7? You have Eclipse and Surge. Don't get anything else. Nah, the rest is like Redox and Scrub. Yeah, no, don't get anything else. You could get like Minigun. Minigun 12, I think, is in tier 7. That's a good one. Orion with Podgun. You know, fine. Don't want that. Want another cooldown. They need more Orion skins, honestly. Okay. I feel like I'm missing something on here. Guess not. I do have this. Minigun 12 is about 7,000 aircoins, yeah. It's like 7,500, I think. Revokers are becoming free to play in a few days. This is true. It should be sometime this month. If you want to save for that. Why have I not answered your question? Because, like, everybody's talking at the same time and I can't. I missed it. Like, I'm sorry. Goku, much appreciated. Alright, let's see how this goes. It's like 20 minutes in, yeah. It kind of takes a while to set up a hanger. I shouldn't have left it blank. How's the weapon? It's been... I literally just finished setting up my hanger. I haven't even used it yet. But we're going to rank freaking now. What's the problem with upgrades? The problem with upgrades is that more than likely matchmaking in basically any case is going to be perfectly fine if two people have identical hangers except one guy has a weapon that's one level higher. Matchmaking is going to consider them basically equal because they are. Like that's a fair assumption, right? But if that one upgrade actually makes a massive performance difference, that is ridiculous. That's completely unfair, and it shouldn't be like that. I am cooked. They have minigun Orions, I don't know why. Alright. My dude has a lace wing, so let me just... Stop. Dang it. I was trying to fire at this guy. Excuse me. Damn it. Stop that. Oh, thanks. Wonder what he has. Oh, I gotta let that. Let's go. Freaking nerd. Oh. Don't do that. Come on, bro. Game's still crashing. Oh, I know. It's wild. Hallelujah. You know, War About Frontiers has been out for like maybe a month. It does crash sometimes, but significantly less than this game does. It hasn't even been out for that long. This game's like 4 or 5 years, not even 4. I've been playing this game for like 4 years. This game's like 7 years old. Can't even make it run properly. Hey Sean, hello. So if they made matchmaking an account for upgrades, then it would be fine. No, what it would be is it would be impossible to find somebody who's actually equal in strength to you. Right? Matchmaking has to make sacrifices, right? You cannot always say, okay, I'm going to put this person against this person because they are literally as equal as it possibly gets. No, it's just because they're in the same ballpark. There's a range. You cannot make people fight who are equal. You have to make people fight who are of the same range or similar. So if a single upgrade makes a huge performance difference, then what it makes is it makes matchmaking impossible. When's next free-to-play stream? I don't know. I use one Gemini 12 on my blog cord. That's hilarious. Gemini is hilarious. Gemini is so good. It's so funny. Tends to happen with games as they age out of optimized devices, add new items in game, it gets a bit more buggy. Yeah, I think Mech Arena though is just really, really long overdue to just rewrite half of their stuff. Robots had to do that like, what was it, 3-4 years ago, I think. They basically just like rewrote the code for the entire game, basically just like re-optimized it. While they were at it, they like improved the graphics and stuff because they were like optimizing it better for current devices, I think. Like every now and again, you kind of just have to do that. You can't just ignore it. You ranked your MD just to get the lifeguard skin? Yeah, that was a waste. You didn't do your MD event? Fair enough. I didn't either. I didn't do much of anything. There's a guy, okay. I forgot. By the way, the effect is only applied once the drones pop out, which is when you have like 70% magazine left. You can see it on the reticle, the little yellow part. Also boosts your damage when those come out, so... I'm very cooked. Yeah. Did you like the lifeguard skin? It's alright. It's nothing phenomenal. He is a Tengu. I do wonder why. I was gonna say... Okay, bye. I was gonna say, I'm kind of okay to just, like, let him do his own thing. Oracle with Parasite. I could use a 16 and 8, yeah. Good cooked. Oh. What in the world killed him? Oh, because this guy shot Tetras and that got freaking redirected. That makes sense. Why did he not go into stealth? I'll never know. Oh, probably because that guy crashed him, even though he wasn't looking at him. Brother, what are you doing? I feel like he's trying his best to tank. Or he just doesn't know what's going on. One of the two. Ha! I got him with the radius. That's a wild. It is very rare to get anybody with the radius. This weapon's so funny, though. Could you suggest what weapons to buy? I just reached tier 5 and there are a lot of options. Well, I made a free-to-play tier list for tier 5. Well, for all of them. Podgun 8's better than Disc Launcher 8. Otherwise, it pretty much stands. Parasite's so tanky. I know, I love it. What? It's gotta be because he has maxed legendary weapons and pilots. That's very strange. I don't know if he's trying to tank or if he's just made a lot of bad decisions. His win rate would imply that he's just made a lot of bad decisions. Try Viper 16. I mean, it's an old weapon. I've already tried it. Where's the monster at? Well, for now, it's coffee, but I drank most of it before I started. Do you recommend the Gemini 16? It's really fun, and it's pretty darn effective, but it's not competitive. Strike Rocket is a better weapon if you want to play competitively. What weapon works good on Vortex? I would say Minigun and Stormrack are the best two options. If you're using Minigun, try to, like, sort of keep your distance. What is a respectable win rate? Well, considering most matches are bots, I feel like everybody should have like a 70% win rate. At least. If you leave matches because you don't care, because you don't want to fight bots and you end up losing those, then that's fine. Most people don't do that, so 60% win rate is the baseline. You think so? How the coffee tastes like good caffeinated. What's the perfect time to play tournaments you genuinely want to know? Well, I genuinely can't tell you because there is no perfect time. Though I've found... I'm going to try it on Blockhorn because I actually think this might be good. I have found personally that it tends to do... that I tend to do pretty good if I start like 12 hours before. Because usually I'm fighting, or usually I'm in the same bracket as people who like have to go to work or they have to go to sleep. People in other time zones. So that's beneficial. If you can play for pretty much the entire day, then, you know, you can, or at least just like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, you'll probably be fine. But if you can't, then honestly, I just said, just start as late as possible. Get in like 30 seconds before the registration ends, and then just play the least amount that you can, and whatever happens, happens. Like, don't waste your time. Bro, stop spamming. I'm about to time you out, brother. Is full take RPG 8 good? Nah. You could get it. It's not terrible. Because you're probably not going to get Missile Rack 8 because of cost sequence, so you could get it. How about Oracle Solus? Oh, it does have a guided ability, doesn't it? I kind of forgot about that. I probably will do that. How the world quit? Wait, what? I don't know what you're saying. Oracle is such a fun design weapon. I think it does look kind of nice. The drone thing is a little bit disappointing. Like, when I heard about a drone, I was really thinking of something else. And even on the design, it sort of looks like an afterthought, I'm not gonna lie. But the overall design is pretty good. It's at least a little bit different than like most of the designs that they've made. Although a lot of the designs have had this like triple, you know, the triple thing coming off the side. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks kind of like a triangle if you're looking at it from the front. If you're looking down the barrel. They've made a lot of weapons like that. Okay, tell me how you really feel. Haha, I was gonna say haha nerd, but then, yeah, I remembered that bots cheat, and they don't care that the barricade is supposed to completely stop EMP. You are only 5. We could tell. We could tell. Oracle is just Shengun combined with Mimicker. That's kind of funny. I do wish it had the Mimicker effect, though. The Mimicker effect looks great. I want this answer from RuFFles. Wait, what answer? Anything that introduces something new or unique is enough to be more interesting than a lot of weapons. This is fair enough, you know, fair enough. The bar, like, the creativity bar is way low in this game. Like, they're not super creative when they make something new. Like, the most creative ability that they've made in freaking years is still, I mean, Parasite's kind of nice, but it's pretty much a direct ripoff of War Robots, so, or many other games. Like War Robots isn't the first game to do it, but it's the most unique one that they made in a long time was Dreadnought. BMP. No shot, you actually joined your own clan. Killshot or Panther? I'd go with Panther. Unless you need something that's fast. I feel like if you don't have anything that's fast and you need something that's fast, then go with Killshot. I think what I've said like 1,000 times, or what people refuse to believe. Because I know that they understand what I'm saying. But I feel like nobody actually thinks that it's true. Is that most decisions that you could make, most reasonable decisions, right? Like a choice between 2 weapons that are similar and 2 mechs that are similar. Hello. Oh, for a second I thought you were the Redox and I was excited. But yeah, most decisions between 2 mechs and 2 weapons, there's some level of nuance to it. Especially for the lower tier stuff. When you get to Legendary, a lot of it's just like, either it's OP or it's not. But there's a lot of nuance to things, so it's like there could be situations where getting Panther would be better for you. There could be situations where getting Killshot would be better for you. I don't know which situation you're in, so you're gonna have to... So, like, you know, my advice at that point is basically just to kind of give you an idea of what you should be looking for to determine which one you're in. Am I going to die to the DOT? That would be wild. I actually think I am. That's unfortunate. Bye-bye. Hold on. Oh. Okay. These bots, bruh. But anyway, yeah. There's a lot of nuance. There's like very rarely am I able to tell you, yeah, this thing is better than this thing. Unless it's like chain gun versus storm rag or something like that. Parasite with Oracle 16. Well, Parasite only has 24 energy. I might do I do have the 8, so I might do some 16 and 8 builds. Because Seeker is a mech that I could use as well. Though, if I'm being honest, like if you wanted to use the weapon on like a Seeker, it'd probably be a good idea to use like an 8 along with a Revoker 16, like if you wanted to optimize it. I don't think they refuse to believe, they just want your attention. No, I think that a lot of people do genuinely think that there's just a clear-cut, straight answer to everything. Because a lot of people, especially people who are really just like almost anybody. Like if you ask anyone for their advice, they're almost never going to explain the nuance to you, right? They're almost never going, they're just going to be like, I think this is better. And then that's it. Like literally anybody you talk to, that's basically you just get a straight, this thing's better than this thing answer. Hold on for a second. I wanna, well, excuse you, okay. Oh, I have 2 Solus. Oh, okay. Weird. Oh, this looks kind of nice together. Oh, the freaking quad orbs. I just realized. I have balls for days, bro. Alright, I'm ready. Planning on upgrading your free-to-play mech tier list? Are you gonna wait a bit longer? Well, I mean, what mechs were added to it? Because there was Nomad, but I'm pretty sure I did it after Nomad was free to play. Maybe not. I don't know. Is there more people in the mid game because someone better check on Elliot. I think somebody took him out before he was able to finish that thought. There's more people in mid game for sure. I don't know if that was the point you're trying to make though. Why haven't you released Revoker yet? It's an excellent question, really. Oh, let's freaking go, bro. True gamer. Why is instant gaming spamming Deathwalker? What? Instant gaming. Do I know who that is? I feel like I've heard that name before. But I don't know. Oh, let's go. That's freaking champion build. It did have Nomad. Okay, that's what I thought. That was autofill. Oh, okay. We know you have a release Revoker button right next to you. Just push it. The thing is, The thing is, I really want Plarium to get more money from Revoker. Because they know how to use their money right. Like, they're using it to fix the game and all kinds of things. It wasn't bad damage, but it also wasn't great damage. Like, that was just a brick house. And I was shooting it from the side, too. Ow, stop that. Brother. Oh, that's her. Yeah, I knew I saw that name somewhere. I was saying that Deathwalker with Oracle 16. Oh, yeah. You're saying that I should use yeah. Yeah, I'll probably use that. Use Souls first, though. Really? Okay. Seems weird. I don't think people realize how bad it would be after Revokers become free-to-play. Everyone and everything will be Revokers. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be real glad that I have other games to play. I mean, like I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's good that the meta... It's good to have a meta that is fully accessible to free-to-play players. But it's not gonna be an enjoyable experience. It's just gonna be everyone using super sweaty stuff on everything. And the free-to-play players are still going to be way behind because they don't have well-leveled mods, and the mods are what really make Revoker ridiculous. So... everything already is Revokers, though. That's kind of true. Depending on which stage of the game you're in, yeah, everything probably is already a Revoker. You also have a feeling Revokers may get nerfed shortly after being accessible to free-to-play? I don't think so. I mean, I did that interview and they said pretty much explicitly that they weren't going to nerf it. They wanted to... yeah. They wanted to, like, release counters to it. Maybe they nerf it. If they nerfed it right after it becoming free-to-play. Well, that definitely says something, but... that looks kind of cool. Skater Pod 8, Pod Gun. Both are good when you first get it, but disc launcher falls off kind of quick. You have an idea to nerf Revokers? There's like 40 different ways that you could do it. It's just a matter of which one makes the most sense. And which one would they realistically actually do. How to nerf Revokers, remove it. Stuff them. Stop that. That Gemini rocket flying by. It's so stupid. It's so good, bro. It's so good. Don't answer, yes. Don't worry, I realized after the first time that I shouldn't run builds that people ask me to run, because then I just get like 4,000 comments of people asking me to run something else. Disk launchers. I agree. Would be good if they do it before releasing it to free-to-play. If they nerf it right after releasing it for free-to-play, or within like a month or two after releasing it for free-to-play, I'm going to consider that entirely purposeful. And I would think that that's ridiculous and unacceptable. How did he get me twice with that? No, he may have not actually marked me the first time. That might be why. Oh. Yep. Should have saved my... what's it called? Ability. Yeah, does it show that neither me or BMP have played this game much in the past, like, 2 weeks? Isn't Oracle like Chain Gun? Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I think better damage, though. And lower reload time. Fire rate 290, I don't know what that is, really. Magazine 60, much lower magazine. 30 months, Sanji. Much appreciated. That is crazy. 30 months. That's like... it's close to 3 years. And the reload speed, yeah, 6.5. Max range 140. 140 is good range. Whereas Chain Gun is like... where's Chain Gun? Is it further up? No, it's further down. So... wait, how much more damage per mag? Only a little... I think this is including the modifier, though. So this should be... what should this be? Like... like 160-ish? And the optimal range of... how is this one's optimal range better than... that doesn't make sense. But the reload is a bit longer. And that is the problem with Chain Gun, I would say, is the fact that it's the reload thing. No bueno. Why is Hellfire a heavy-duty weapon? I don't know. Why is Podgun a barrage weapon and and Hornet is a missile weapon, even though they're basically identical? Is Parasite better than Vortex? Yeah, probably. Vortex hasn't been super great ever since mods came out. I mean, it was a pretty good option, but I think what really killed it was Deathwalker. It was just so much better. excited for the shop refresh tonight. No, Scape's not excited for the shop refresh tonight. He has to grind to credits to get that stuff, bro. He has had a shop of all ages. Hey. How are you? Freaking barely, bro. My man. Okay, yeah, no. He's in stealth now. I think technically it keeps him visible in the background, which does mean... I don't know what he was doing. Which does mean that, like, you can keep marking him while he's in stealth. Like, use the attack command. That's why you see me use the attack command all the time. It's because it's just a nice way to see stealthed enemies through walls. I'm ready. I need... okay. I'm kind of used to the aim assistant frontiers. Nomad or Parasite? Depends. They both have their uses. Probably Nomad's better, though. Classic. Bro, this game's a freaking national treasure, I'll tell you. Imagine they scammed us and put Howler instead of Revoker. There's technically no guarantee that they put Revoker. It's not really a scam. It would be very strange, but... oh, okay. Somehow I'm still alive. I'll take it. But yeah, there's... hello. There's no guarantee that they put Revoker in. It's just that that's what, like, that's just what they've been doing, is releasing things in order. So the next one should be Revoker. And it should be sometime within the next month or so. It should be sometime this month, I would guess. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's 2 months. Maybe it's not even Revoker. Lost a match yesterday when it wouldn't even start. I had to restart twice to get back into the match. Classic. Yeah, now I have to restart to get this thing to work. Well, I guess I don't, as long as Productions is inviting me. Can't accept, or can't claim that, though. Is Salver good? Yes, Salver is pretty good. You'd prefer Hellfire? Once you get it, you'll stop preferring it. I can pretty much guarantee that. You're not scared to go timeout. What does that mean? That means that you know that you're being annoying, you're just not going to stop? Oracle damage just feels too low. Yeah. This is technically more damage than you would normally get, too. Then why don't people use it? Wait, why don't people use what? Last weapon to get released was Viper, and it was released at 7th of March. Yeah. So they had all of March, which means it should be released. The next one should be released sometime this month, because the last one was last month, right? So this one should be sometime this month. Typically takes them like a little over a month per weapon. Get him out of here. Time out Instant Gaming to see what happens. What's he saying? He's just asking somebody to give him his ID. I mean, he can just say no. If you don't want to give him your ID, then don't. Ringer, hello. How are you? Has a new weapon on the game, yes. Oracle 16. He's spamming some too. Saw him being a little bit annoying, but I feel like everybody's a little bit annoying sometimes. No big deal. Next weapon for game purchase is Fuse Mortar. It should be Revoker. Maybe it's Fuse Mortar. When does Fuse Mortar come out? Hold on. Check. Fuse Mortar should be right after Revoker. Since it's epic, it might be before, though. Alright, hold on, let me restart. I want to swap my mech. Am I live on Twitch? No. I don't plan on streaming much, if any, Mech Arena on Twitch. Unless it's something specifically interesting, you know? Like, this is a very specific, I'm not inviting. Do you have cold? You just let me invite. If you don't have cold. I might do Outlaw. I was gonna say I want a skin with like blue lights on it. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that's all she wrote. Is it worth upgrading your 4-star lacewing? I mean, probably. I don't know what level everything else is. What the frick? You said Revokers are going to be free to play, and now you said Fuse Mortar are going to be free to play. You know what's crazy? It's almost like both of them will be free to play eventually. Isn't that wild? Whoopsie. He's got 580 SP. How's the editing going from Frontier, assuming you got what you needed? I did. You know what? I should tell you. So, you know what's actually kind of sad? Is that I went through the footage after the fact. And when I ended the stream, I was at 99. I had missed 2 kills. Did we do Orion already? I haven't used any 16 and 8 builds. You told Fuse Mortar because it released after Viper in-game. It did, but it also released after Revoker. And I know this, and you can know this, by going to the stream description. There's a link called Mech Arena Master Database. There is a tab in there that lists the date of release of everything. You bought it and wasted 8 coins? What do you mean? The Fuse Mortar? Yeah, it was kind of a waste of 8 coins. But you say that as if, like... I mean, first off, I bought it like a month ago. And Fuse Mortar's probably not going to be in the game free-to-play for another, like, month or 2. So, it wasn't really a waste. And second off, everything's going to be free-to-play eventually. It's just a matter of, like, how long it takes. So everything's technically a waste. Why is there pods on me? Probably because someone was shooting pods at me. Or it was an ally behind me, I don't know. Most people in the Mech Arena official Discord server are talking about a alleged Revoker event crate, which is coming soon according to them. Yes, I would imagine so. See, here's the thing. Almost without fail, very soon before Revoker becomes a free-to-play weapon, they make an event crate for one of them. And they, like, massively overcharge you, right? That's to try to get people to spend extra on usually ones that end up being credits. So there should be an A-coin based event crate for one of the Revokers very soon before they release it for free-to-play. Now, whichever Revoker that they do does not necessarily mean that that one's going to be credits. It might. But if you see it, then you know that. And they might not even make one. But if they do make one, I would expect it to be I would expect it to be released free to play very soon after. Zephyr is good and cheap. This is correct. Oh no, that was the first one. Do you think the Outlaw implants are worth investing in? The ability range is pretty good, and I use it a lot. The ability radius is literally useless. Don't do it. I want one with, like, blue lights, but oh well, I'll just take this. Oh, that's right, I can't use ability damage because they're freaking lame. Why can't I use ability damage? I'll never know. There's Deke. If you're in the stream, Deke, let me know. I'll invite you. Otherwise, I'll let you do your own thing. You plan to only play for 1 year. Well, in that case, you'll probably only get to, like, tier 5 or 6, which is fine. You don't need to be a max competitive player if you're only planning to play for 1 year. You can't heal hard until mods with Salver anymore. It's a visual bug. I will bet you that you actually can. Let me see. Do I have a hardened hole on this? I don't remember. I do not. But I'll bet you that you actually can. But it just doesn't show that you did on your screen. Because that is a pretty common bug. I've seen that before. It's been around ever since Salver came out. I'm gonna freaking mess you up, brother. I don't think the drone damage counts as extra damage. Actually, I don't know. It shouldn't. Because it's not a damage boost, it's just another source of damage, really. So at least that's kind of nice. Hold on, we'll find out. No, it's definitely considered additional damage, which is stupid. It shouldn't be. But, you know, leave it to Mech Arena to ensure that things are as lame as possible. That doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying, bruh. Like, the drone isn't a damage boost, it is simply an additional source of damage. It even has its own projectiles, like, the game even registers its own projectiles. Like, look at the drone. I can corner shoot with just the drone shots, I'm pretty sure. I mean, visually I can. I don't know if I actually was. Hi. Don't do that. See, Dreadnought's cool. Dreadnought was the last, like, actual cool mech that they made in a long time. Is Oracle good? I mean, it's probably better than Chain Gun. I don't know if I'd say it's good. What you're seeing right now is a rather mid-performance from a weapon that has actively a 20% damage modifier, which I'm pretty sure is applied to the weapon before pilots. If you include the pilot buff, it has a 34%. It has 34% more damage than it should have, or 34% more damage than normal, which is more than what a pilot would bring. So the damage modifier is basically equivalent to me using a max legendary implant plus a little bit, plus like maybe a couple levels. And it's still not performing very good. Is there a reload implant for this weapon, though? It's actually an interesting question. There is. Oh, that's right. I actually forgot. There is no... Well, crap. Didn't mean to do that. No. 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 Hold on. Now I need to kind of... Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Well, for me, it pulled up like an additional pop-up on this window. And I had to like really quickly close it because I wasn't sure if it like showed my email or something. Like my personal email. But for whatever reason, it didn't show up on stream. So like, hey, I'll take it. You think Overdriver is a lot better? I'd probably agree with you, yeah. If you're gonna spend money on a pay-to-win assault, if you're gonna spend money on an assault type, you should just get minigun. Like minigun's better than Overdriver anyway. Technically, you don't even need to spend money on it, but it is a lot of acorns. Like you may as well just get it a couple ranks lower or something. Where did productions go? He probably left. We saw all your info. I believe it, yeah. Can't you wait for the new map? What do you mean? You want me to just like not make any videos or anything until the new map comes out? Is Vortex good? It's okay, but there's much better options these days. Infinite. A save. Much appreciated. Liam West. Very nice. Thank you, sir. What is unfortunate, though, is that, well, I'm clearly not in any tournaments anymore. And I'm not really sure I plan to join anymore. One of the main perks of channel members was that they got to see competitive stuff. Like I streamed that for channel members. And then I just made a regular video for everybody else. But yeah, now I have to find something else to do. Worth mentioning, I did already make... Like, I already made another channel for Warbots Frontiers. I have not uploaded anything on it yet, which is why I'm not going to share any links. I'm working on the first video. But if that ever gets to a place where, like, I could do memberships or whatever, like, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I might switch to, like, Patreon or something, but I'm never going to do I'm never going to require, like, multiple memberships between multiple channels. I'm always going to keep that just as, like, you know, if you're a member on one, you're a member on all of them. And then you can just, you know, watch the stuff that you want to watch. Don't watch the stuff you don't want to watch. Was its name? I'm not gonna share it around until I actually have a video to show for it. Doesn't seem proper. But I'm working on one and it's going pretty well. As in the editing process. Is Nomad good? Yes. Buddy. That's so sad to watch. We saw your location. Oh, yeah. Because the well-known thing about making online payments, the first thing that pops up is your freaking IP address and everything. We'll send you a box full of monster. See, that's the way it goes. Is there a new update of Mech Arena? I mean, I didn't update anything, so I don't think so. But I think I already have it. I also have it set to auto update. So. Is there anything new that's interesting? No, not really. I mean, there's this, the Oracle 16, but it seems kind of mid. Probably worth... Okay. I know I haven't gone through all of the heavy mechs. Oh, wait, actually... Because... Let me do Panther. Because Panther's one of those mechs that actually does really well with assault-type weapons. Nah, you got too much yellow. You got a little bit too much going on. I'll stick with this one. Level 1 stasis barrier height. What bit of a... Look at how... You see... You see that? It's so tiny! I have a little tiny implant. Another yeah, classic. It do be like that. Oh, Umbra, let's go. Sentry is free. Convict Hello. Do you want an invite? You're the owner of Mech Arena, real. Yeah, okay. There you go. Oh wow, 13,013.03. Imperfect hello. How are you? Yeah, screw kill shot. That thing's stupid. Leon, welcome. What's the weapon like? Is it good? Better than chain gun, probably worse than overdriver, I'd say. In comparison to Viper, I mean, Viper's better than chain gun, but worse than overdriver. I don't know. I'd say it's probably better than Viper. Viper's very inconsistent. This is at least a pretty consistent weapon. But yeah, the damage is just kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. And there's a damage modifier going on right now, which is equivalent to me using a maxed legendary damage implant, which technically doesn't even exist. Damage isn't bad, but... I do wonder if the reload implant would make a huge difference, though. Reload implants are usually pretty good. Thanks. I'll just use this little corner. Hellfire is the best weapon. You can have a live barbecue in between games. Very true. Hellfire is a very OP. Everything was going good and you had to ask for acorns. Wait, who is asking for acorns? Oh, this guy. Can we get free acorns? Yes, but not from me. Can you do blockhorn? I already did that. That was, I think, the second one that I tried. Is this a viable weapon? I mean, in accordance to what? Like, would I use this competitively? Absolutely not. Is this a weapon that I could use in a somewhat casual hangar and still do really well with? Yeah, probably. It's kind of similar to Overdriver, I feel like. It's not super ideal. I wouldn't really recommend people using it, but it's still pretty good. Get a return to work. Alright, no worries, on. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. Coffee or Monster, only pick one to drink for your whole life. Well, I probably have to go with coffee. Because it's more likely to make that whole life last a little bit longer. Can I help you grind in Mech Arena? What does that mean? If you're on my friends list, I can invite you to the squad. How do you get free acorns? I mean, there are ways to get them, technically. Like, there's random promo codes if you haven't already used them. I mean, in my Discord server, I do a thing where I give people acorns. There's basically a contest, and whoever wins gets acorns. And that's essentially it. But that only happens once a month. Otherwise, you gotta work for it. You can't get everything for free. Coffee is a lot more viable in endgame. That is one way of putting it. Perhaps the only way of putting it. Wait. No, hold on. I gotta try some stupid things real quick. Excuse me. What? Why does it show... Well, I didn't equip that. I didn't equip Hellfire, I just unequipped the thing. Whatever. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Sure, I'll make it like half a meter wider. Now I'm gonna go with this one. Let's freaking go. There's red. I don't know if Pablo's in the stream right now. I see him online. There is a player with the ID of 2, yeah. Pablo. Railgun is for Acorns. The 12 and 16 are, yeah. Gaming Snake, that's a good tip. I forgot about that one. It's a pretty old one. Team Monster, let's go, Pablo. Said things you got busy with? Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Can I give you 50 subs? No. That's up to each person. They're not mine to give. And when people ask for like shoutouts or promotions or whatever, like if I see something that you make, like feel free to share a video in my Discord server, right? There's a place where you can share whatever videos you want. And you know, if you make something that's interesting, if you make something that's good that I like, then I'll probably share it. Probably like make a post. But otherwise, like I'm not just gonna do it just out of nowhere, right? Because by posting, I'm basically saying, yeah, I recommend this person's content, but like if I don't know what they make, or if I actually think what they make is kind of bad or uninteresting, then I really don't recommend your content now, do I? I'm kind of cooked. I'm kind of cooked. No. Come on. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of lag right there. Which revokers for credits? No idea. They haven't come out yet. I imagine either the 6 or the 8, possibly both, will be for credits. But usually, I think one of the two are always for credits, with the exception of minigun and EM rifle. Because those were made before the Gear Up existed, I think. Guardian with Oracle 16. It was OP. He was asking for them to die. Oh, hello. You know what, I'll do it with myself. Oh, hi. Never mind. Everybody. Everybody respawn. Whatever. It's just bots, so it doesn't matter. Bro got cooked. Sooner you gotta go. Office meeting starting soon, unfortunately. Short. Alright, I got you. No worries, take care. Thank you for stopping by. I should do Riddock. Because everybody knows that Riddock is the most OP. I could do Mimicker. Mimicker's not terrible with those types of weapons. I think right now, though, I'm gonna go with... I'm gonna start with Seeker. Because I have the 16 and 8, so now I can just use these things. Range, bonus damage, shield HP. I mean, I guess so. Yay, we didn't crash. Hey, another gifted, much appreciated. JLA24. Very nice. Thank you, sir. For both of them. Yeah. Can you make a new account, Mech Arena? Wait. I just made a new account, like, 2 months ago. What do you mean? That was probably closer to 3. Can you do Gemini 16 on something? I made a whole stream about Gemini 16. Gemini 16 can be pretty crazy, actually. And it's like, it's almost meta-worthy, but not. The problem is that it fires straight. If it fired upward and curved like a Helix Rack or something like that, or a Strike Rocket like Cold has, if it curved like that, then it would probably be better than Strike Rocket or any of these other options. It'd probably be really, really good. Hello. Feels like last month, yeah. You got a legendary pilot for 600,000 credits, is it worth it? Yeah. I mean, legendary pilots usually cost like 3,000 acorns, so... Definitely a good deal. It was a close quarters one, too. So that's real nice. Fire Roach, hello. Welcome. How good is it? Well, the double 16 is not really great. I'm currently using 16 and 8 on some things. Overall seems kind of mid. Probably better than Viper. Worse than Overdriver. Damn. Mech Arena preparing y'all for Revoker. Yeah, Revoker's gonna be... It's not gonna be a lot of fun, especially on my free-to-play account. It's just gonna be a lot of people with a lot of Revokers on everything. What do you think is better, Strike Rocket 12 Lacewing or Gemini 12 Lacewing? I would avoid using either of those on Lacewing, to be honest. Although maybe Gemini, simply because you already have that upward angle that you can kind of get on people. But yeah, the Strike Rocket 12's damage output's not super great. If you're going to use Strike Rocket, I would recommend the 16. Obviously on something more supportive, so like a Salvor or a Solus, especially a Solus. Maybe an Outlaw. Outlaw's good as well. So like a new Viper. I mean, kinda, yeah. No, it's like it's okay. It's not crazy. In terms of, I think it's balanced relatively well. I just think that it's not as interesting as it could be. Like, my issue with it isn't that it's not OP. Like, if they made every new thing OP, then that would be ridiculous. And that wouldn't be a lot of fun. But, yeah, my issue isn't that it's not strong enough. My issue is that it's just not interesting. Pod versus Strike Solus. I think Strike Rocket at this point is pretty definitively better than Pod Gun. Especially if you're playing competitive. Like, if you're playing solo or casual matches, Pod Gun could be better in a lot of situations. But especially if you're playing high-end competitive, there's so many lace wings, and they're always in the same spots. They're, like, up on these rooftops. They're always in a spot where, like, you really can't get them very easily with Pod Gun, but you can get them pretty easily with Strike Rocket. You thought pods were the best on Solus? Well, they were until Strike Rocket came out. Strike Rocket in the tournament right now is annoying. I believe it, bro. Disc Launcher, Deathwalker. Build of Champions. Yeah, there's a lot of Strike Rockets. Some people are using way too many Strike Rockets, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've saw somebody with using 2 Strike Rocket builds. You shouldn't be doing that. You should not be doing that. On testing day, I thought you said the Strike 16s were worse on Solus than pods. I may have said that, yeah. I mean, it's just a classic example of that my opinions are just my initial opinions, right? And this is kind of the reason that I don't like to tell people exactly what I like. I don't like to be like, okay, this is, you know, like with this weapon, right? Like, I'm guessing it seems about between Viper and Overdriver. That's literally just my first impressions, right? Like, I don't know, I've only just started using it. It's like, don't take it as law or anything like that. Okay, bye-bye. But also, I think in terms of practicality, if you're playing by yourself especially, Pod Gun is the better weapon. So it could have also just been that I was playing solo during that stream. And Pod Gun just seemed way better. Which it generally is solo. Pod Gun's more of a team weapon. Or not Pod Gun, Strike Rocket's more of a team weapon. Because it has literally 0 pushing power and basically no burst DPS. So if you have teammates who are able to apply pressure to the points that need pressure, and you're backing them up with Strike Rocket, super effective. Very effective combination. If you're with random people, or with bots that are kind of just doing their own thing, and then you're trying to use Strike Rocket as to support their randomness, not very effective. Which is worse, Savant bots or EM bots? Savant. Because they'll, like, they will get you. Weapon having an ability that a mech should have is crazy. I actually, you know what, that's a fair argument, because I was saying at one point that, like, no shot, I was dead certain one support mech at some point was going to have something similar to Zephyr, an AoE ability that would just reveal people, would just reveal enemies within a radius. Maybe do something else just to make it less lame, and more useful, or maybe just have really good stats. I don't know. But that was something that I had mentioned was probably going to happen at some point. I don't know, like probably at least a year ago was the first time I talked about it. Damage duration, yeah. RuFFles, fridge is monster, and leftover coffee. Bold of you to assume that I leave coffee for later. I drink all of that stuff, bro. I actually don't like cold coffee that much. Okay, that's not true. Iced coffee or chilled coffee is fine. And I have, like, I do drink it sometime. Like, not like recently. Not within, like, the last year or so, but I have, and it was fine. But, like, hot coffee that just happened to go cold because you left it out, or whatever, or you put it in the fridge, that stuff's not good. It's not. I feel like it's not the same. I don't like it. Alright, you need to keep in mind, I want to corner shoot on the right side because that's where my 16 is. The freaking 8 is doing 0 damage right now, bro. I can kill him with the ability, yeah, let's go. Oh my goodness, I'm so slow. Okay. Viper on Chungus is the code to victory. It's a code to something. Can you put the next Panther on, yeah, the next barrier on the shield, on the beacon? That would have been good. Have you seen the strike rocket bots with the crazy angles? Oh yeah. I don't think bots use Gemini yet, but once they do, freaking look out, bro. Or maybe they, no, they do. I've seen them. I feel like I don't see them get really crazy shots though. You would think Gemini would be like one of the wildest weapons to fight against bots. Because they probably know exactly how it'll curve and everything. Like how it'll spin. And they could... Nice. And they could make it do all kinds of crazy stuff and it'll freaking one-tap you. So, I don't know. Kind of surprised that it's not way worse than it is. Got a mod in the chat. Some dude keeps saying random things kinda annoying. Who? I mean, people are free to be mildly annoying if they feel like it. I felt like I wasted 1525 Acorns on Chungus to get him to 16 energy because I heard Disc Chungus hits hard. That's the problem with listening to random people's advice, is that anyone's free to say anything that they want. And a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions. A lot of these opinions are based on, like, there's a lot of people who are going to tell you that, like, oh, Carbine's really good, or Chain Gun's really good, or frickin', I don't know, Onyx or Gatecrasher are really good. You don't know. I mean, the people who say like those mechs and weapons specifically, almost always it's because they bought it low. They bought it low rank, and they just happen to be a legendary rank 3 mech against, you know, freaking uncommon rank 3 mechs, and they're just like absolutely dominating, and they're thinking that it's because the mech itself is really good, but it's actually just because it's like 4 tiers higher, and it just has way better stats. Mr. Toast Waffle, hello. No need to apologize. Are you going to do free-to-play? Free-to-play stream? Nah. I mean, there's nothing to really do. It's just... I'm kind of just doing it for the sake of doing it. Which seems kind of pointless. I don't use chain gun unless I have their ramp up. That's fair. I mean, chain gun can be usable, especially if you get the lower energy version, like the 6. It's probably decent. But again, you know, you're hearing from someone in like tier 4 who just got the chain gun 6 and put it on their Ares or whatever, and they're using legendary weapon against a bunch of like uncommon and rare mechs. And then they give you that advice. They tell you, oh yeah, chain gun's really good. It's super strong, kills everything. They give that advice to people who are in tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, and then these people are buying those things. And they find out the hard way, oh wait, it's actually not very good. It's actually really garbage. And that's why you should always assume that people's advice is wrong, and they should always have to explain why they think the things that they do. Which is why I always try, well, I don't always, but I try to always explain why I think the things that I do. If I can't explain it in a way that makes sense to you, then just ignore me. RuFFles will always win. Mayor got nothing on RuFFles. To be fair, I play a lot of competitive and he doesn't, so... Well, I have played a lot of competitive, I don't currently. So yeah, I mean, just by pure experience. That's very true. Okay, bye. End of the day, just get what you like. Good to get options. Good to get opinions if you have it and can't decide. This is true, though. A lot of people... I feel like a lot of people lose the entertainment factor, and they stop playing to have fun and they start playing to progress. It's like everything that they do, it's all about maximizing their resources, getting the best stuff possible so that they always win. Basically trying to play the game competitively, which some people just want to play competitively, and that's fine too. But I think a large part of it is just they get into the grind and they start to forget to actually play the game for fun, and they start just like they start to play it for the grind, which is unfortunate. Do you save to buy Rocket Mortar 10 and upgrade the rank of Arachnos so I can equip or save up for Stormrack 6? I would get Stormrack 6. I mean, most questions that you have about free-to-play stuff can be answered in my free-to-play Gear Hub guide. So if you haven't seen that, I would recommend watching it. And if you have seen it and just forgot, you could go back to watch it. But yeah, you don't really need my personal like, you don't really need me to tell you. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'm okay with it sometimes. But if you ask and I don't respond, or if I just don't see it, then you know where to find it. You haven't seen the free-to-play mech tier list. No, I'm talking about the free-to-play Gear Hub guide. So just what the best thing to get in each tier is. Just in general. The only thing I would say is that I made that guide before Podgun was free-to-play. So I would say at tier 5, when I tell you to get Disc Launcher, it's a better idea to get Podgun. Even though Disc Launcher is still really good at that tier, but it's a better idea to get Podgun. That's pretty much the only difference. Bastion. Bastion. Okay. Best mech for Disruptor. Probably Orion. Just because it's a single projectile weapon. Anything that prefers to stay back is good, though. Disruptor can be used in a very specific way that no other weapon can. And you want to use it very passively and not be aggressive with it. So any mech that prefers to kind of hang back in cover, then usually that mech is going to be pretty good with Disruptor. Wonder if we'll ever get players. Probably not. Stolen. Sorry about that. Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. That's a violation. Thank you. I don't want to get within his ability radius. Thanks. What is that sound, bro? You hear that? It's like the sound of 3 chain gun 6s. Or minigun 6s or whatever, I don't know. You're doing the Nomad achievement with Disruptor? That's actually not bad. I was actually getting pretty good Disruptor kills with that. I'm actually surprised how well Disruptor holds up even after mods. Like, considering what it is. The reload's just so quick. I don't even mean bot kills, I mean player kills. Hey, cut that out. Kichi, hello. How are you? Should I targeted the hemlock first? No! Yeah, I killed myself, but I don't know, it's like whatever. He was gonna kill me if I didn't. There is this weird visual glitch with Disruptor when I kill the enemy and I still die to Disruptor without seeing the projectile. That's mostly bots. It's due to, like, a bad connection to the server. Have you seen... You've seen where bots are, like, they're aiming one direction and then they fire a different direction? It's basically that, but with Disruptor. But what happens a lot with Disruptor is that the projectile doesn't actually show up. It shows that it's moving in one direction, but it's actually moving a different one. And it's not great. Yes, Sean, welcome back. You get a bug where people get the EMP removed. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Sometimes the EMP just like straight up doesn't apply. It's weird. There's a lot of bugs in this game. And that's what I'm saying. It's like I was saying earlier, I was like, you know, at some point they're really gonna need to like just rewrite half of the code in this game. You know? Like they can put it off for a while. They've clearly have. But like they can't ignore it forever. There's so many bugs in the game. There's so many issues, and I feel like it's pretty obvious that a lot of these issues are due to the fact that just like their code is really outdated. Anytime I see a Savant bot, I just assume it's aiming at me no matter what direction it's facing. Well, especially Savant. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because it's a guided weapon, but I mean just, like, not even guided weapons. Like, EM rifles, especially. Like, you've seen a bot just, like, face one direction, and then somebody else, like, over here just dies. It's kind of funny. I've seen that a lot. Out of all the ones I've used, which one did I like the best? In terms of... Oracle, I assume? I think the one that did the best so far was, what's it called? What is it called? Dreadnought. Hello there, freezer. Pablo is not the freezer. He might put you in his freezer. Stop that. Stop that. Oops. Should try it on Surge? Nah. Should be better on Eclipse. I was like, minigun Eclipse is really good. Thank you. Orion to 3. What are you talking about? Who's saying what? I'm so confused. I feel like I missed something. Don't do it. Okay. But uses stasis weapons. This is true. Okay. Sure. Excuse you. You can deal with that, right? Imagine using Orion as a weapon. Like as a melee weapon? Like you just clubbing people with it? Or like what are you doing? I was trying to lock onto the other guy in the back. Stop. Every hit applies Hunter's Mark. That would be something. It would make some people really happy. It would also make Eclipse even better than it already is. Nomad, let's go with Surge, why not? And then, like, I might do Aegis, because Aegis is pretty good with sustained weapons. And that's probably it. I'll try it on Orion after. Yeah, okay, so I'll do Aegis and then Orion, Parasite too, actually. I'll try Aegis, Orion, and Parasite after Surge, and then I'll probably call it a day. That's fine. Oh, wait. I mean, I could just use this instead of the range. I don't know why I'd use the range. Kidamogus, I have no idea what you're saying. Or why you're saying it. Yeah, no, yep, that's all I got. Is pod guns good on Eclipse? Yeah, it's pretty decent. I mean, it's not going to be the best, but it's pretty decent. You have so much A-coins, why not send me 1k? Tell me step by step how I can send my A-coin, the ones that I have in my account. How can I send those to you? Minigun is. Podgun on Eclipse is, it's much better if you have weaker mods, and then Minigun on Eclipse is much better if you have stronger mods. Or if you're fighting people who have stronger or weaker mods is, I guess, mostly what I mean. Well, if you have them too, I suppose. Kind of both. They just keep dropping new stuff, huh? I mean, yeah, that's just how mobile games work. I mean, I'm bored of this game as is. Like, imagine if they just never released new stuff. Seeker kills everyone easily, but Orion weakens it. Okay, Orion weakens everything, technically. But Galvanic Hole weakens Orion, so Orion is roasting Seeker, but Galvanic is looking at Orion as its next target. Until Orion just, like, removes the Galvanic Hole. Depends on the weapon. Rather stop. Oh. No, I used that on him and he died immediately. I'm gonna cook you. Revokers are good on Eclipse, you don't say. What's the perk of Oracle anyway? After you fire like a third of your magazine, basically, there's a little drone thing that pops out that deals extra damage and also applies a reveal status effect, which basically just means you can see people at all times from like behind walls and stuff. But if you activate stealth, then it completely removes it, so basically the effect is worthless. I'm the best watcher watching on TV while commenting from mobile. Very nice. Can you comment from TV? Like, is it even possible? Man, like, would you have to use the remote or something? No, how would you do that? Let me do search one more time. Ganjolf. You can edit my videos at best. I don't know what that means. Hiring an editor would be nice though, actually, but I can't afford one. Or at least I wouldn't be, like... I'd probably be paying them more than I'd be making from YouTube. And that's, yeah. That's no good. Waiting for Revoker 8s to pop up for like $20 in shop so I can put those on Nomad. Fair enough. It'll happen eventually. Bro, I hate the fact that every time a freaking healer spawns. We're just getting annihilated. Come on. Yeah, the damage is not very good. This is with a damage modifier, by the way. try Oracle on empty. I mean, I think... Didn't I already do that when the 8 came out? Or maybe I didn't. I feel like I probably did, though. Did look in the camera. Yeah, what's unfortunate is that I just use... I play on a laptop, and I stream on a laptop because I don't have a legit computer. So I'm just using the built-in webcam that's like right there. So it does make for a very interesting angle, indeed. Yeah, stop that. It's a laptop model? Oh, I don't know. I got it from my brother, like I didn't buy it. It was an old one that he had. But it's pretty decent, it's pretty decent. It's better than my old one. Cold water or room temp water? I used to only be able to, like, I used to, like, not be able to stomach room temp water. But then, like, I don't remember what happened. I can't, like, I really, really hate bottled water. Bottled water is disgusting. So, I only ever drink, like, filtered water. I think I didn't have a filter for a while. And then or what did I do? What was it? I don't know. Yeah, I guess, like... Oh no, what I used... Because I just drink room temperature water at this point. Like, I have a gallon jug of water that I just fill up every now and again. But I used to put, like, ice cubes in my water. But then I think I didn't have any ice for a while. And so I kind of just got used to room temperature water. And it's really not. Like, it's kind of not bad. It's fine. So long as it's not actively warm. Anyway, oh wait. I want to try these 3, don't I? So let me replace you with something OP. No? Okay. I mean, there's a Nomad implant right here. I don't know why I couldn't auto-install, but whatever. And then I'll replace you with something equally OP. Do I want to change? Hold on. I think I do want to change this. Radiance. Can you leak my IP? I don't know, can you? Some people were asking if Vodka and Eclipse was good, so like maybe I'll just do that. And then by duration here. Alright, so I'll start with this, I suppose. Cooldown duration, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Diablo, Convict, and Cold. Do I watch anime? No, I don't. I don't really watch any... Like, I watch YouTube stuff. I don't really watch, like, movies or shows. What do you think of Dreadnought? Pretty good, honestly. It's very nice. I don't think it's meta, but I think it's about as close to meta as you can get without being there. So you could use it competitively if you wanted to. What do you do all day? What do you mean? Do you just like watch TV all day and nothing else? Because I don't do that. What other games do you play? At the moment, War Robots Frontiers. I've been enjoying it way more than this game. I'm not gonna lie. There's actual players as opposed to just freaking bots all the time. Like, basically every game is a full player match. The graphics look really cool. There's a lot of depth behind it. Pretty high skill ceiling. And the items are balanced really well. I mean, not super well. Not the best, but... like, as far as things go, it's balanced pretty darn good. I'm cooked. Yep. Chungus with Fragment Gun has infinite range and damage. I agree. Your laptop can't handle it? That's really unfortunate. Yeah, my laptop can kind of barely handle it. In fact, if I want to record or stream it, what I have to do is I have to have the graphics setting at the very lowest and also capped at 30 FPS. Otherwise it just like lags a lot. The recording, not the game. Macarena devs look at RuFFles crying when they hear you say War Robots Frontiers. Oh yeah, probably. But hey, that's their fault for having freaking zero standards. And that's what I'm saying is like, I think the biggest problem with War Robots and Macarena is just that they don't have good competition. War Robots Frontiers is for PC and console only, like it's not a mobile game. And so they have to compete with all of these really stupidly popular and very free-to-play accessible, or at least extremely cheap, PC and console games, right? They have to compete with other games. There's been quite a few, right? There's been quite a few games that are similar to that have been much, like, that have been, you know, really, really good. And so people have a certain expectation, right? And they're just not going to play it if it's garbage or whatever. The thing with War Robots is that it's just kind of, it's still the best mobile mech shooter game. It is like it's got the most depth, it's got the most players, and so Mech Arena is kind of the War Robots only competition. But Mech Arena's only real goal is just to be a slightly like cheaper version of War Robots, like a slightly better version, slightly more balanced, slightly more free-to-play friendly. And they're okay with that, right? They already accomplished that. They like Mech Arena is better than War Robots in my opinion in terms of like the free-to-play aspect, the monetization, whatever stuff, right? Mech Arena is better. But then they're just okay at that point. They kind of don't care. So what really needs to happen is for some really good, very free-to-play friendly game to come up on mobile that actually steals all of these, that steals Mech Arena and War Robots as players and forces them to actually make their game better. Convict, you gotta go? No worries. Is it on Steam? Frontiers? Yes. That's what I play it on. I currently have like 89 hours on that game. And it's only been out for like a month. I'd love Mech Arena to make a free control option with no aim assist on mobile. I'm pretty sure they said that they were going to do that, but then they kind of just never did. And they said this a while ago, I'm pretty sure. I'll invite Red, but he probably isn't looking to join. He's got a very thick boy hanger. If I want to play my Stormrex, I have to log out on PC. Hello. That's fair. Yeah, I know people who have gotten pretty good with using it on mobile, but it's definitely an acquired taste. It's going to take a while to learn. And I never took the time to get good at the vertical aiming system, because I always hated it when people used that with Disc Launcher. It's super lame. What do you think of Zephyr? What weapons do you suggest? Zephyr's pretty good. When you first get it, I would say one of the best weapon options is actually Cryo Launcher 6 and 10. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, my effective range isn't super great. Viper 8 at base is better than Max Oracle 16? I don't think that's true. You're probably not including the drone damage, which is like half of its damage. Sort of getting bored with Mech Arena, especially since I stopped playing on voice with friends. That's a big part of it too, yeah. Like, Mech Arena can be entertaining if you have people to talk to who are also playing. Because, I mean, like, the downside of Frontiers is that, like, everybody's kind of sweaty. So, like, people aren't really messing around that much. It's a lot easier and a lot more doable to just mess around in Mech Arena. So if you're playing with friends, it's not bad. Really. Okay, weird. Game just lagged a bunch. Don't. Please. Yeah, I'm dead. Sorry, I got Redeemer on free play account. That was like that's kind of a while ago, but yeah, thank you. Mimicker would have been better if he really copied the abilities. Yeah, I can understand why they didn't do that, though, because that would have been kind of a nightmare to make a mech like that. And they'd have to update it every single time they made a new mech. Like, every new mech with a new ability, they'd have to update Mimicker. That's kind of... Not surprised that they chose to not go for that. Also, I probably should have been doing this entire time. I don't know why I didn't. Oh well. You're saying that the turret is better than the gun? No. I mean, not technically. The turret, I think, does... I mean, damage per magazine, drone damage per magazine. The drone damage does less damage per magazine. Possibly more damage per shot, but it has less shots, right? The drone has, like, 2/3 of the mag size. But yeah, I think that's how that goes. I think you have to add these together. Damage per magazine, drone damage per magazine. I think you do? Maybe you don't. I'm pretty sure Viper, though, is... Where is it? Viper's damage per magazine, I'm pretty sure accounts for both the damage per shot and the damage per rocket, so it accounts for both of them. So this is the total damage. 131,000, basically. While Oracle 8's total damage is, I think, these two added together. Which is like 90,000, 91,000-ish. And Viper was what? 131? Yeah, so, yeah. Viper does have a solid 30% more damage than Oracle does. Even still, Viper's like, it's 100% reliant on the rockets, though, Viper is. And it's so difficult to hit those rockets consistently, so just because of that, I think that Viper is worse. Are you going to play on free-to-play account later? Nah, probably not. Viper has better DPS than Oracle until the drone drops from the void. No, even with the drone, I think. Well, okay, DPS wise, I actually don't know. That depends on the RPM. But yeah, I think Viper does take longer to unload its magazine, so that is also a factor, I suppose. All right, so last one. Low and cold. Why is one guy spamming? I don't see anybody who's spamming. Does you think Mech Arena should allow playing with friends who have who has a mech count in the quest that requires a specific mech? Parasites? What do you mean? So, like, if you squad up everyone in your team, like the actions of everybody in your team counts toward your event progress? Is that what you're trying to say? keep spamming. I mean, I don't... He sends, like, maybe 2 or 3 messages. It's not really spamming. Scroll up. Well, I'm scrolling up right now and I don't see it. Literally the last thing I saw from him is F1RG1E. Unless it just got, like, hidden for some reason. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so, the default chat that it shows for me... The default chat is called top chat. Which is basically, it basically auto-filters potential spam, which pretty much never happens. And there was still a few of his things that we're going through. So I was like, I don't understand what you guys are saying. But nah, yeah. That's the first time that's happened in a while. I kind of forgot that it doesn't always show everything. If I found an EM rifle in my junkyard, I would sell it, bro. I need that money. What's my favorite mech? Parasite is really cool. I tend to like new mechs, though, just because everything else gets boring after a while. Orion is a mech that I've always enjoyed, though, to be fair. Seven kills with that is actually not bad. I mean, you don't have to explain to me why it was annoying that he was spamming. I understand that he was spamming, and people spamming is annoying. I'm just telling you, I did not see it until just now, because I only saw like him saying a couple things. Because YouTube was auto-filtering a lot of it. Mimiker's your new favorite? Fair enough, actually. Mimiker's a lot of fun. What's interesting is, like, Mimiker's super fun, but it's so forgettable too. So, like, I don't use it very often, simply because I forget it exists most of the time. Like, there's literally no weapon or situation or anything. There's really nothing where it's like the first thing you think of is like, oh, this could go well on Mimiker. It's like, no, because Mimiker's just so... It's so average. It's just moderately good at everything, and it doesn't really do anything particularly well. Which is kind of the point. It's the kind of the point of Mimiker, but, like... It also, like, I just forget about it because of that. Haven't collected your 200 from weekly yet. Looks like Oracles does decent damage. What implant you have for them? Well, they did decent damage because I was using it on Orion. But there's also a 20% damage modifier. And that's worth keeping in mind. I don't have any implants for it, essentially. I have a level 1 rare range, which is essentially nothing. But, if I'm not mistaken, the 20% damage modifier is applied to the weapon base stats. So this is also boosted by the pilot. So what this ends up being is actually 34% more damage than you'd normally be doing. Meaning that this is essentially what it would look like using like a max, because hold on. This is what percent? I don't know. Oracle damage implant doesn't exist. There's only an Oracle drone damage, which is like 30, probably like 40%-ish of the total mag damage. And it only boosts that damage by like 30%. So that's like 0.4 times 0.3. So that's essentially only like a 12% damage boost. If you're using max legendary implant. But with the modifier, you're getting like 34% damage boost. So it's like way better. If I had it's probably the equivalent of like me having basically a maxed Oracle 16 with a maxed damage pilot, or max damage implant. Is basically that. That's basically the equivalent damage. And it's still not even doing that well. Mimicker with nades hit hards. Oh, that's true, yeah. No, it's a good build. It's a good build. Basically about 200k damage in total per magazine, yeah. Surge or Nomad without mods. Surge. It's always going to be Surge. I mean, they both do... They both have a similar purpose. You get the drop on somebody, typically in a 1v1 situation. You dash at them. And your ability along with the surprise element ends up helping you win most engagements, right? So then you have the option between two different abilities. You have one that will help you kill the enemy faster just by dealing raw damage. And you have one that will EMP them, which prevents them from dealing damage to you. The one that deals damage you also take less damage. So there's that too. But essentially what I'm getting at is, if you use Surge right, then you don't take any damage and you just keep killing people because EMP just keeps them still and there's no way to really get around that, unless you're using an Eclipse or something. If you're using a Nomad, pretty much no matter how you use it, you're taking some amount of damage every single kill, so you will eventually die. Surge is... You could last forever if you use it carefully. Pretty easily. So, Surge is better than Nomad for that reason. Ishan, you've said that like at least 8 times. It wasn't funny the first time, so I'm not going to read it. You're a top player? Very cool. What number are you? What would you recommend with Graviton Beams? If you have Panther, that would be a really good one. I assume you have Graviton 10s. You didn't realize I read it. That's fair. I mean, like, if you say it like 14 times, then especially like, okay, there are some things that don't really warrant a response. Like the thing that you said. It didn't really warrant a response. What am I supposed to say to that? You know, like, you're just kind of saying a thing. So it doesn't really require me to specifically acknowledge that you said it. And I also didn't think it was very funny, so I just ignored it. So after a few times, if you're asking me a specific question and I don't answer, then it's probably because I didn't see it. Or because I was reading something else and then it ended up it just kind of got lost in the chat. Most likely. I used to be top 50 when the game was way more fun and I played it all day every day. Fair enough. I used to play a lot. I used to play a lot, bro. I mean, not like a lot, like some of these other people. Like I still have less than. Actually, I mean, like, I think I played like close to 10,000 battles just last year. Like in the past year is what I'm saying. Close to 10,000 battles. And that's not even including all the custom matches from like tournaments and stuff. Used to play 11 hours a day. You need a hobby. Nah, I would usually play like, on average, probably like 2 hours a day. Because I usually have like a 4-hour session every couple days. I would play for quite a while, but 11 hours is crazy. That's actually crazy. Panther with Graviton Beam or Storm Rack? I mean, if you don't have the reload implant, actually I'd say Graviton's better. My guess is you have this Storm Rack 10. You could use a Storm Rack 10 and 6, potentially even 2 Storm Rack 10 and 6 builds. That's probably better. I've always wanted Tetra rifles. Are the dual 16s worth it? It depends on what you wanted them for. Like, Tetra Eclipse is actually kind of pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. So, like, if you wanted to use them and try to, you know, get, like, somewhat competitive results, most of the time you're gonna want to use a medium mech. In that case, the 12 is probably the better option. If you wanted to just go for the high, so like super high damage, just for the fun of it, then yeah, the 16's nice. It's not one that I would say you have to get the 16 in order to get good results with it, though. You could use a 12. Strike Rocket is one that I would say, like, don't even bother with the 12, just get the 16, though. What if you do Tetra Rifle 12 with Orion? I did that, yeah. It's not bad. I actually think that Orion's probably better with EM Rifle or Railgun, though. Simply because most of your shield pierce comes from the ability. You don't really need the extra shield pierce on the weapon. Howlers are garbage. Thought they would be good. When Warrobots introduced sonic weapons, they were incredible. Well, here's the thing. When Warrobots introduces anything, they're always OP. Because that's just how they roll. I will warn people, like, I think a lot of people do make the assumption that, similar to Warrobots, Mech Arena is going to make new stuff always super strong. 9 times out of 10, new mechs are not meta. New weapons are not meta. Sometimes they are. Sometimes, you know, sometimes they're really strong. Like Deathwalker was released not super long ago. Strike Rocket made it into the meta, but it's not like super. It's not like super meta. But it did make it in pretty recently. Yeah, Deathwalker's really meta. So, like, yeah, sometimes there's exceptions, but, like, in general, always be, like, really careful before getting something that's new, because most of the time it's not good. In WoB, the meta changes every week. What is that? What game is that? World of... something? Boats? How free-to-play friendly is this game? It's more free-to-play friendly than Warrobots is. If that's where you're coming from. Otherwise, it's not really that free-to-play friendly. Although, the most meta weapon in the game is scheduled to be... well, I would assume it's scheduled to be released relatively soon, like within the next month. First time playing a game like this? Ah, okay. Well, it depends. If you're really smart and you know what you're doing, like if you're really smart about like game decisions, not just like, you know, generally smart. But if you're really smart about like game decisions and you know what you're doing, then you can get some pretty darn good results as a free-to-play player. But in general, you're not gonna be a top player. You're not gonna be a top player as a free-to-play. Like, you're not gonna be able to compete with the uppermost, like, highest SP groups or whatever. You just can't get there. What is the new meta weapon? In this? Nothing. The most recent weapon that made it into the meta for Mech Arena is Strike Rocket. And even then, it's not like that meta, but it is pretty good. Would love it if the game releases 2v2 tournaments. That would be, well, I definitely wouldn't play it. I think 2v2 is super lame. Panther was one of my top bots for years. That's fair. It still is pretty darn good. Good to hear. Games. Hold on. Game looks good, but right after my first 2-3 games against bots, I get back into lobby and 5 pop-ups for bundles that are discounted 90 to 80%. Yeah. Yeah, and well, if you multiply that by like 5 to 10, then you know exactly what they normally cost, and so you can get an idea of like how expensive is some of this stuff normally. New stuff in like these crate rush events, or what is what they're called. These are massively overpriced, bro. I would say things are easily like 3 to 4 times more expensive than they should be. But with all of that said, you know, like I was saying earlier, most new stuff is actually not good. So you don't need it anyway. And even if it was good, it's not a must-have. Like, there hasn't been a must-have weapon or mech released in like a stupidly long time. In fact, the only must-have thing that isn't available for free-to-play is Revoker, and that's coming out pretty soon, I would guess. Well, the exception of mods. Mods are another thing, and you're not going to get mod parts very easy as a free-to-play player, because the only place you can freaking get them is the weekly tasks for no damn reason. I don't know why they haven't put them anywhere else. But, new players aren't able to get put mods on their mechs until they reach rank 6 anyway. But you're still going to fight people who have mods, because this was a change that was made not super recent, like a couple months ago. So you'll fight people who got mods on their mechs before they changed it to where it was only rank 6 thing. Super stupid. It was a terrible decision. They should have just left it so that you could put mods on at any rank. But yeah, suffice it to say, essentially, like, before they made the change, anyone who had already unlocked mods at that point, they were allowed to just use mods on whatever they wanted to. They didn't want to change it for existing players. They only wanted to change it for new players. Which, like, sure, that hurt the least number of people possible in the moment, but it really just made a super imbalanced... What's the word I'm looking for? Environment, I guess, yeah. Next meta weapon, EMP nades. If they make a weapon that EMPs people, it's freaking over, dude. It's over. Mods are incredibly hard to get. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, but they gave people, if you participated in the tournament that was hosted on the Mech Arena official Discord server, people who did reasonably well got a lot of mod parts. They got a lot of mod parts. Like, I got over 1,000 elite mod parts. And I literally played 4 battles. I didn't even play it because, like, I think 2 of the people didn't show up or something. So, like, it was a lot, dude. You got 2,500? Yeah, I think 2,500 was like the most I saw. Or was there somebody else that got even more? I don't remember. Sean, you gotta go. All right, no worries. Don't understand why they won't include mod parts in the battle pass. You would think it's just like a very classic place to add them, but no. See, what's annoying now though is that they can't just put mod parts anywhere. They have to put mod parts in places that are almost specific to late game people. Because now you can only use them if you have a rank 6 mech. So what's the point of having mod parts? Plenty of people are willing to buy the battle pass. Because it's only $10. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, like, value, you know? It's got pretty good value. And so a lot of people would be willing to buy it, but mod parts would essentially be a useless commodity to them until they get a thing to rank 6, or until, like, you know, a year later when they do that. A 1,000 elite parts is equivalent to 100 days. Yeah, pretty much. Did I see your message? Probably not. Which is annoying when you have 0 mods and you play even versus MD covered in mods, yeah. There's people who are tanking, so they're like purposely lowering their SP, but they have like a massive advantage because they have just like one thing that's super strong. And that's an issue. The mods thing is an issue. There's a lot of reasons why this game is just, it really bothers me. But, you know, if you wanted to play it for like, I don't know, a couple months, I've been having quite a bit of fun on my free-to-play account, which is only like 3 months old at the moment, and I was getting pretty good. I was getting pretty far with that. Your game says mods unlock at rank 3. I think it says the same for my kill shot. Yeah, upgrade mech to rank 3. But that's just because I've never upgraded or ranked this thing up, and I think the game just kind of, like, didn't really understand what was going on with that. But I can put mods on slingshots, only rank 4. Everything else is maxed. Encountered any nomad tankers in tournament on the free-to-play? Oh, yeah. I mean, they're not even just on the free-to-play, or not even just in the tournament mode. Like, I encountered nomad tankers pretty much all the time. At that point, your best friend is going to be Zephyr. Still think mod levels should work the same way as input levels? That would really make sense, but even still, like, it forces, you know, 2 people who have, you know, two different things. They have 2 different hangars, right? The person with the lower rank mech is by default going to also be forced to have a lower mod levels. If their pilot's lower level, then their implants are forced to be lower level. So I don't really actually like the fact that you have to upgrade the rank of a pilot to upgrade the implants, or that you have to upgrade the rank of a mech to even equip a mod. It basically just makes it so that anyone with an advantage has even more of an advantage. Is it even worth investing in purple mods? Yeah, so the way I have this set up you can see that all of my mechs are pretty much the same. They all have a legendary perimeter multilayer, a legendary hardened hull, and then after those two, I will get the epic galvanic, and if I really want, I'll get the epic canopy. And that's the way that I do it for basically everything. Orion, I have a blockade, but honestly, it wasn't really worth it. Why you hate Kill Shot? Because it's stupid. Get on the horn with that Dev you had a convo. Yeah. So the problem is, like, I can't speak to them directly, right? And the developer that I had a conversation with, he's not directly responsible for things like that, right? So the only thing I can really do is I can tell the people that I do have contact with the ideas that I have and ask them to basically forward that information or communicate it to the people responsible, which I do all the time. I do this all the time. I mean, any complaint that I have, I tell them about it. But I'm not going to like go on YouTube and whine about it basically for views. And even I know a lot of people think less of me for that. They think that I don't complain to Plarium, or they think that I'm okay with some of the problems just because I'm not on YouTube complaining about it constantly. But I just, like, what are you going to do about it? You can't do anything about it except for, like, complaining to you guys literally could not possibly change anything. Like, it is the most unproductive thing I could do with my time. If I'm going to complain to somebody, I should complain to somebody who could actually possibly do something about it. So, yeah. So I do tell them about all this stuff. But then when I talked to Pasha, it was interesting about that. When I talked to Pasha, it really seemed like a lot of the things that I've said 1,000 times, a lot of the things that I've said 1,000 times were like, it seemed like news to him, right? He was like, well, we never really considered buffing the old stuff. What do you mean? Like, have I not been constantly saying they need to buff Carbine? Carbine's garbage. They need to buff Repeater. They need to buff all of these things, all these really old mechs and weapons and stuff that just don't perform very well. I've constantly said this. So how is it exactly that I say these things and, like, this guy hasn't even thought about it? So I really feel like when the people that I do have contact with aren't really properly forwarding the complaints that I have in a lot of cases. So I feel like I'm kind of just screaming into the void at that point. Which is basically my way of saying, like, yes, I'll... Like, I've already made my complaints and voiced my misgivings about pretty much every single issue. But they're, like, are they going to do anything about it? Probably not. They don't really listen to me that much. Yeah, he was like a designer of mechs and weapons. Yeah, exactly. Not like the model designer, but like he was the one who, you know, like figured out what they did, essentially. They probably just shrugged off those things. Well, yeah. I mean, probably. But, you know, at that point, it's just like, you know, I'm not saying that I'm gonna not try. I'm just saying that, like, if they're not really saying, like, if they're not actually, like, communicating the problems that I have, then, like, it's kind of no surprise that nothing's changing. They should consider even make more energy variations for low-tier weapons. Maybe. 14 energy weapons actually made a lot of sense to me. I don't know why they got so much hate. But they didn't make any more. They only made 2. When are you going to start doing those old streams? I thought you left. where you spin a wheel and select the mechs and weapons. I did one of those not that long ago. Hold on, let me check. I'm very certain. I mean, I did it with Sentry. So it was before he left, obviously. But when did I do that? That was... I've done so many free-to-play streams over the past couple months. January 5th, so like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I guess that is kind of old. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure how often I should be doing those. Every few months, every 2 to 3 months probably isn't a bad idea, though. Screaming at the walls at this point with the devs, yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's not to say that I'm not going to bother trying. It's just basically my way of saying, like, you know, don't blame me that nothing's happening. Like I'm saying the same things that I've been saying. I'm saying the same things that a lot of other people are saying. But, you know, they kind of they're at the end of the day, they are going to do their own thing, right? They're still just going to do their own thing regardless of what I say most of the time. It felt like yesterday. It was a fun stream, yeah. It felt like it was only like a month or two ago. Just add a mech where it can go invisible for 10 seconds. Yeah, that's what stealth should have been, but instead they made it kind of weird. They're in denial. Also, that's a very delayed Pasha. What do you mean? I feel like your stream is like maybe 5 minutes behind, just so you know. You might not see this until a while later. Anyway. Yeah. I'm probably done. TLDR, Oracle is pretty mid. It's not particularly good. The status effect that it applies is really nothing special. It's theoretically useful, I guess, in some cases. I guess possibly it would be kind of nice to use as a support weapon for allies who have, like, guided weapons, but even then, it's kind of meh. And you're not gonna get... It's not gonna be super beneficial to you personally, as the person using it. But otherwise, it's okay. You know, I would say it's probably better than Viper. Probably worse than Overdriver, but not too bad. You gotta go soon? Yeah, I'm gonna leave soon too. Should there be more counterbots to the most metabots? The thing is that they don't really think about the game in terms of what's meta. They really don't. They think about balance in terms of, you know, the things that already exist, but they try to make... I mean, like, think about, like, Dreadshot, for example, or Hellfire. So they balanced those based on the weapons that already existed, which was minigun, which is really good, but also chain gun, which is really crappy. So they basically tried to make each weapon perform about on average with... It would try to perform about equal to the average weapons performance in that category, or like the average weapons... like stats, essentially. Which basically guarantees that everything's going to be, like most new things, so long as they balance it according to that, almost everything is going to be slightly below par. Because there's always going to be one thing that's a little bit above, one thing that's a little bit below. So there's always going to be one that's really good, one that's really bad, and then every new thing is going to be somewhere in between. Sometimes they don't strictly follow that, but that's kind of just like the way that it seems to go. But at this point, I really feel like in order to compete with any of the meta stuff, they really have to make stuff that is itself meta. And that's just unfortunate. They really had a chance with Outlaw, but they made Outlaw weak against Eclipse, which is stupid. And in general, pretty much it literally it's only good against Deathwalker, and that's it. And that was their chance to do some pretty good stuff. Oracle could have been a good counter or a good option against like Eclipse and Surge, because it would potentially remove stealth, but they didn't make it remove stealth, so it was just kind of whatever. So that's just kind of what happens, is they take interesting ideas and they sort of just water them down until they're just meh. Other than Nomad, Eclipse doesn't have a very good counter, yeah. And Nomad's not particularly strong against almost anything else. Which is why Eclipse is the best mech in the game, because it essentially doesn't have a counter. What's good against Parasite? I kind of just run away or hope that they get someone else and get behind them. The best option is basically just to run away and time them out. So, like, anything that'll stall them, EMP, like Hemlock, you can't... Like, it's not a matter of damage output, because you'll kill yourself if they link to you. Seeker's not a bad option, because you can get them while they're in between abilities, or if you get them while they're using their ability, then you can always teleport back, which will usually break the link. So, yeah, or like, I guess dash mechs, you could just turn around, dash the other direction. You need like 110 meters or something like that in order to break the link, though. But yeah, in general, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's really, really strong while it's there with the ability, but then as soon as the guy dies that it's linked to, then it's kind of toast. Parasite would have been good if you could use his ability against Eclipse. That's just like, it's like almost every mech now. Almost every mech requires a visual lock or some type of lock to actually use its ability. Like, Outlaw would have been good, but it's worse because two of the most meta mechs are stealth mechs, and, you know, one of them will just, like, straight up remove status effects. So like half of basically everything. Like there's like everything that they make is almost always specifically weak to Eclipse, which just inadvertently makes Eclipse better and better and better and better by comparison. Would Onyx be good with Graviton Beam? No, not really. It's a phenomenal mech. It's nice when you're the one that has it. Yeah. It got a little bit... I mean, especially with certain bots being the way that they are. But it gets to a point where it's like, you basically can't play the game because there's so much EMP and so many things. So many like guided weapons and so many EMP things that will absolutely just like beat the crap out of you if you're not using Eclipse. So it basically, like, it's like the game's basically unplayable unless you have an Eclipse, which is stupid, and I don't like that. Again, it's probably fine if you're the one using it, but not so fun if you're on the receiving end. Savants be usable on Onyx? Maybe. Savant is not very good after mods, which is so sad. Savant was so fun. $99 in the shop right now? Yeah. No, thank you. Anyway. Yeah. That's, basically long rant from me about Macarena. If you've been wondering what I've been doing with my time, with my free time, as opposed to playing Macarena, which clearly I haven't been doing, look at my freaking season points. I've been playing more Robots Frontiers. Really fun. It's only on PC and console, though. During the 5v5 tournament, I spend half the time getting hemlocked. Yeah, exactly. And especially if certain bots exist. The bots are really annoying, too. Like, if the game was guaranteed players every match, I would probably be having a lot more fun. But it's not. It's like 90% bots, and maybe you get one player. You're still at Division 10. Let's go. This guy knows what's going on. Things that need to be said, and they realistically should listen. Well, I mean, they don't really need to be said. Not on stream. I mean, like, all of these things are things I've expressed in one way or another to them specifically in the form of feedback to various updates and stuff. So, like, I've already told them. Telling everyone else is basically just my way of being like, see, you know, making sure everybody knows that I'm in agreement with them, which I guess is nice peace of mind. I know some people think that just because I don't talk about it much means that I don't think the same things that they do. But most of the time I do. You know, if you have a reasonable take, then I probably agree with it. I play like 2 games, then I get off. Fair enough. You could clear your battle points in like 5. That's another thing that bothers the crap out of me. Is that after 5 battles, like 5 or 6 battles, you simply do not get rewarded for playing anymore. Wait, why? Did you know that if you had unlimited battle points and you played for 24 hours straight, the number of A coins that you would get from crates is like 500. It would not even break their resource economy. It literally wouldn't. Like, you could play all day, every day, and it literally would not even do you that much good. And the only thing they would have to do is just not have this stupid limit to the combat points. But even just that would encourage people to play more. It would make it worth playing more. People could save up crates, they could do whatever they want. And it would be a source of getting A coins, getting credits faster, as well as just being able to get it the way that they want to get it, as opposed to being forced to play this goddamn abomination of a game mode. That isn't really a game mode. It's just something that they decided they wanted to turn one of the other existing game modes into the most unlikable thing you could possibly imagine. They want you to spend 8 coins refreshing. Imagine spending 70 A coins or whatever it is. To get like 6 A coins worth in crates back after the fact. Freaking imagine, dude. The absolute nerve. But, you know, it's just one of many things. Even still, the game can be fun in moderation, you know, as long as it's not like It's not something you want to play all day, every day, but it's entertaining, and it's kind of chill. The one thing I do kind of have against Warbots Frontiers that I've been playing a lot more of is that, like, nobody has any chill, bro. Everybody's playing it like their literal life depended on it. Everybody's spamming freaking super high level max meta whatever stuff, and that's just like super annoying weapons. Oh, they're really strong, so it's like, oh my god, dude, chill a little bit. Like, come on. But yeah, I think that's mostly because they don't have a ranked mode. Like, technically every match that you play is like ranked, and so anybody who just wants to, you know, like, be top of the leaderboard for the sake of being top of the ranked leaderboard for the sake of doing that, then they just, you know, they just gotta play normal matches. Every match counts. So I think that's part of the reason, but we'll find out. Maybe they deal with that, maybe they don't. It sounds like Warbots. Yeah. Even on the test server, I've heard it's like people just like everybody on the test server is just like all the free-to-play players spamming all of the meta stuff that they could never play on their main accounts. Like, oh my god, dude, chill. Let us have a bit of peace. They need to make acorns easier to get, yeah. They also need to make stuff just cost less, just in general. But anyway. Having played Frontiers, I'm losing faith in Mech Arena so hard, and I used to be so optimistic, yeah. I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. They have a really good opportunity here, right? They've been making some decent changes over the past year or so in terms of Mech Arena. And they I don't want to say recently, but it's like within the last 6 months or so, I think, came under new ownership. They're not owned by a gambling company anymore. They're not owned by Aristocrat. They're owned by, I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's the same company that owns the Bloons franchise, which is, you know, people love that. It's very free-to-play friendly, very, you know, it's very nice. But, yeah, so now they're owned by them. Maybe they'll be a little bit more chill. But I was saying, yeah. TLDR, I think this year is the year that, like, we find out for sure, like, are they actually going to improve the game, or is it just going to continue being the same BS that it's been for the last, I don't know how many years. There's a very good chance that they don't improve it. Because it's like, I mean, like, take Warbots, for example. Warbots is still the most popular mech game, right? Mobile one, anyway. And that's not going away anytime soon. So Warbots can do basically anything that they want, so long as they remain the most popular. They're still on the top, right? Mech Arena's only goal, basically, is just to be a slightly more free-to-play friendly version of Warbots. And the bar there is pretty damn low. So they can do nearly anything that they want, and they can get as close as they want without getting there. So they don't really have incentive to make the game more free-to-play friendly. They really don't. Because, like, they lose money by doing that, realistically. They might gain popularity, but, you know, if popularity doesn't directly translate to money, then... Well, I mean, like, it does, but, like, okay. A 50% cut in price does not mean you gain 50% more players. It's not linear, right? There's a correlation, but it's not linear, so you have to figure out, like, you would be most likely losing money if you made the game more free-to-play friendly. But they don't really have a reason to, so long as Warbots is not going to do anything about it, and Warbots isn't going to do anything about it, because they're already the most popular game, so they don't care. And so that's just kind of the situation that we're in. But, hey, who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe they improve it. I think this is the year that we would find out, though. And if they don't improve the game by the end of this year, I would say it's kind of cooked. What's the best mech for beginners you just started? Slingshot. Super OP. Unless you're in, like, tier 3, then I'd probably get Guardian. Don't get Shadow, it's a waste. been suggesting rewards for top 500 for a long time. I actually don't want that. And the reason is because people are already tanking just to get there, just for the sake of bragging rights. It just makes tanking more lucrative. Warrobot's new stuff comes out, shreds everything. You can pay to keep up or get blasted. And by the time you finally get enough to keep up, they introduce a new weapon or mech. Rinse. Yeah, rinse and repeat. But, you know, there's plenty of stuff that they're doing. And there's, like, I think you can get some really good stuff in Warrobots for, like, pretty darn cheap. But you still need to pay some amount. So, yeah, and I don't really know exactly how it works, but suffice it to say, Warrobots is still the most popular mech shooter game. Bragging rights? Why are they bragging about having no life? I mean, why does anybody grind top of a leaderboard? I mean, most leaderboard type game, like any game with a ranking system or whatever, most of them don't really have rewards tied to it, do they? That I'm aware of. I mean, clearly there's enough incentive that people will do it. Mimicker, hello. I'm about to stop. I was going to stop like 30 minutes ago, I think, but just kind of started talking about random stuff. Mech Arena official makes every robot sound really good. Well, yeah, because I don't want to openly say this thing's kind of garbage. They want it to sound good. You do want to check out Frontiers, though. It's gonna take a little bit to get used to it, but it's so much fun, dude. Podgun 10 over Stormwreck 10 or Graviton 10? I would go with Stormwreck 10 personally. You could get Podgun 10 first, though. How do people get into easy tournaments? They don't. It's kind of random. It's kind of like playoffs. So the bracket that you get into is basically based on how many people enter into the tournament at that specific time. There's literally, or around that specific time, there's literally no way of knowing. It's impossible. Like, there's no way of guaranteeing this is when I'm going to get the least number of competitive people. Because you don't know when they're getting online. You don't know when they're going to start. It all depends on just like when they decide they want to start playing. So you could start basically anytime, and you'll get pretty much the same results, which is mixed results. So at that point, I recommend that you just start as late as possible and just grind till the end, so that at least you know that you're playing for equally as long as anyone else, so that if you do perform better than them, then you get top. If you perform worse than them, then you won't. But at least you know that nobody's just gonna like play 1,000 more games than you and beat you that way. Alternatively, what you could do is start like 12 hours before it closes, because it tends to be that a lot of people who start at that time do so because they have to go to sleep or they have to go to work or something like that, and they just won't be able to for like 8 to 10 hours. And so sometimes you'll get lucky, but even then, again, it's a crapshoot. It really is. Should I get Surge after Slingshot? Okay, wait. What Gear Hub tier are you in? Like, where are you? The best mechs in the game are Surge and Eclipse. And Deathwalker and Lacewing. And then the last one's kind of just up to you, to be honest. So, like, yeah, that's definitely better, but I thought you said you were new. Tier 2. Okay. Yeah. So you... Okay. I assumed you were a free-to-play player, but that was maybe a dumb assumption, because you get some pretty darn good offers as a new player. Yeah. I mean, if you want to just... If you want to get, like, Surge Eclipse, Nomad's also really good. Lacewing and Deathwalker, those are, like, probably the top 5 mechs for you to get. And then... maybe... no, probably not any of those. I would say none of the other ones are really worth it. But yeah, you can check out, like... I've got multiple, like, tier list videos. Some of them are not, like, super up-to-date, but... you can generally just kind of use those. Panther. Yeah, but if he's already getting a offer for Surge, I feel like getting a Panther is kind of pointless. You get something way better, way quicker, I think. But yeah, you can check out just like the mech and weapon tier lists if you want to like figure out if something is like particularly good or particularly bad. Just make sure it's like the most recent one possible, because there's been some pretty major change in the game over the past year. Not in the past, no, it's past like year and a half-ish. So yeah, there was a pretty major change that really mixed up the meta, so they're not going to be the same. James, take care. Podgun 10 versus Graviton 10. Podgun, I would say. You're tier 5, you'll actually get Zephyr and Aegis, but I don't know any weapons that make a good synergy with them. Aegis can use almost anything. Podgun 8 is a good one. Zephyr, I would personally recommend Cryo Launcher 6 and 10, because it is pretty darn good. Alternatively, you could use Ember Gun 8s. Anyway, yeah, I think that's about it in terms of that whole conversation. That went on for a long time, honestly, but it's fun. It was kind of nice talk. Yeah, in terms of next video or stream, I'll definitely try to have a video out by Sunday, because that's going to be the monthly giveaway video. Always try to do that first Sunday of the month. Am I realistically? Nah, I'm working on different things, so I probably won't be able to get one out before then. But yeah. What weapon should you put on Mimicker? I'd recommend like honestly, I think Podgun is one of the best ones. Maybe Strike Rocket too. What weapon should you use for Slingshot? Shotgun or Fragment Gun, whichever one. Fragment Gun's better, but I don't remember if you... No, you probably don't have that. In Tier 2, you have Shotgun 4 that you can get very easily. Don't use Acoins for anything. Always avoid using Acoins, because the stuff... like the stuff down here, even just these epic ones, cost like almost 4,000 Acoins. So don't spend them on garbage. Especially not in the first like 3 tiers, because you'll immediately replace that stuff within like a week. But anyway, yeah. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Justin, I have a... I mean, it's based on free-to-play players, but I have a Gear Hub guide that I made a while ago. If you want to use that as like a reference point, you could also use like my tier lists or whatever to figure out what stuff is good and what stuff isn't. That's a good place to start. But otherwise, yeah, you could alternatively just like join my Discord server and just ask people there, and they can give you solid advice. But otherwise, yeah. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Take care.